In the top stories, King Druzy wins back-to-back Carib Senior Calypso Monarch title. Trinidad Prime Minister defends lawless dump remark, doubles down on tax and traffic measures, and Sydney welcomes 2026 with fireworks and tribute to Bondi attack victims. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Major Newscast. Today is the 31st of December, New Year's Eve, and I am Jasmine Thomas. King Druzy has won the Carib Senior Calypso Monarch finals for a second consecutive year. The reigning champion scored a total of 769 points to secure the 2025 title. King Socrates finished second with 752 points, while Queen Independent placed third with 722 points. The competition featured multiple senior calypso artists, with judging based on lyrics, presentation, and overall performance. The result marks a back-to-back win for King Druzy in the Carib Senior Calypso Monarch competition. Minister of Creative Economy Samuel Duggins hosted a welcome dinner for contestants participating in the Hainesmith Miss Caribbean Talented Teen Pageant. The event took place in St. Kitts on Tuesday, 30th December, with young pageant representatives from across the Caribbean in attendance. Minister Duggins said the dinner provided an opportunity to welcome the contestants and promote a positive and inclusive experience during their stay in St. Christopher and Nevis. The Hainesmith Miss Caribbean Talented Teen Pageant brings together winners of national teen pageants from around the region to compete in a regional showcase. This year's contestants represent 9 territories, including Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, the British Virgin Islands, Guyana, Haiti, St. Lucia, St. Croix, St. Kitts, and Trinidad and Tobago. The pageant continues as part of the Federation's regional cultural calendar. And the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, working in close collaboration with soldiers of the St. Kitts and Nevis Defence Force, reports that law enforcement operations conducted during the Juve festivities on the 26th of December 2025 were largely successful, ensuring public safety during one of the Federation's largest Carnival street events. Thousands of revelers participated in Juve celebrations on St. Kitts. The RSCNPF maintained a strong visible presence throughout the festivities, supported by targeted patrols, vehicle checkpoints, stop and search operations, and coordinated deployments across both islands. As a result of police operations, 4 individuals were taken into custody, 1 for wounding, 2 for disorderly conduct by fighting, and 1 for driving without a valid driver's license. Additional vehicle checkpoints and search operations were conducted on Nevis in support of the national security posture. During coordinated search operations at the Charlestown Pier, Seabridge, and NASPA Uali water taxi facilities on Nevis, supported by police canine units, officers conducted searches of persons and personal effects as part of efforts to ensure a safe and violence-free carnival. These operations resulted in the confiscation of 41 pairs of scissors, 2 knives, 3 makeshift weapons, 57 lighters, 4 ski masks, and a quantity of cannabis. While the RSCNPF is encouraged by the overall cooperation of the majority of revelers, the force expresses deep disappointment and concern that some individuals choose to attend the carnival events armed with weapons or items capable of causing serious harm. Such conduct places lives at risk and directly undermines the spirit of celebration, culture, and community that Carnival is meant to embody. We now take a look at news on the regional scene. Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar is standing firm after criticism over her lawless dump comment. The Prime Minister responded to opposition concerns about increased customs and registration fees, arguing that citizens should not subsidize services they don't use. Prasad Bisesa said the government will prioritize law-abiding citizens and ensure taxpayers' money directly improves their lives. She also defended tougher road traffic penalties taking effect on the 1st of January in 2026, citing widespread lawlessness under the former PNM administration. The Prime Minister criticized hardcore PNM constituencies for having high crime, unemployment, and poor infrastructure, and reiterated her government's focus on reform and accountability across the country. Prasad Bisesa concluded that facing the reality of the country's issues is essential for making lasting improvements. And several Caribbean countries are reporting strong and, in some cases, record tourism growth for 2025, according to Travel and Tour World. Antigua and Barbuda, Curacao, Jamaica, Barbados, and Trinidad and Tobago are among the territories driving the region's performance, supported by expanded airlift, infrastructure investment, and targeted marketing campaigns. In Antigua and Barbuda, officials report a sharp increase in international arrivals, particularly from the United States, United Kingdom, and Canada, with increased long-haul flights during the peak holiday season. Curacao recorded double-digit growth in visitor arrivals through November, while Jamaica continued to post strong figures across both stayover and cruise tourism. Barbados also reported consistent growth in air and cruise arrivals, attributed to investments in tourism infrastructure and a focus on sustainable and cultural tourism. Trinidad and Tobago saw increased visitation, with Trinidad attracting cultural and business tourism, and Tobago benefiting from ecotourism and leisure travel. The Dominican Republic remained the region's top performer, recording more than 10 million visitors in 2025, driven by expanded airlift and large-scale resort development. Tourism officials across the region says the results highlight the Caribbean's continued appeal and position it for sustained growth going into 2026. And now for a look at news on the international scene. Sydney, Australia rung in 2026 with its iconic New Year's Eve fireworks held under heightened security following a deadly shooting in Bondi just weeks ago. Organizers held a minute of silence for the 15 victims of the December 14 Hanukkah attack, with the harbour bridge illuminated in white and a menorah projected onto its pylons. Australia's New South Wales Premier Chris Minns said the city must show defiance against tourism and continue to celebrate life freely. The event featured over 40,000 pyrotechnic effects stretching 4 miles across the harbour, including the Opera House, with some 3,000 police deployed to ensure safety for more than 1 million revellers. Lord Mayor Clover Moore said the celebrations were meant to provide hope and unity, looking toward a peaceful and happy 2026. And Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has suggested that U.S. President Donald Trump visit Ukraine as part of ongoing efforts to negotiate a peace deal with Russia. Zelensky said a direct Trump visit would signal strong international support and could help establish a ceasefire. The discussions also included the possibility of an American troop presence in Ukraine as part of post-war security guarantees. Trump spoke with both Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir Putin, while Ukraine's National Security Council continues to work with the U.S. and the European coalition of the willing to advance negotiations. Despite ongoing Russian drone strikes, including targets in Odessa that injured 6 people, Zelensky stressed Ukraine remains engaged in peace talks, with international support playing a critical role. We now take a look at the weather report and the present weather across St. Kitts and Nevis. Fair skies. Winds are from the east-southeast at 6 to 10 miles per hour. Seas are 1.8 to 2.4 meters or 6 to 8 feet, with northerly swells up to 2.1 meters or 7 feet until late this evening, and 1.2 to 1.8 meters or 4 to 6 feet, with swells up to 1.2 meters or 4 feet thereafter. Weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis is mostly sunny. Weather tonight, mostly fair. Sunset this evening is expected to be at approximately 10 minutes before 6, and sunrise tomorrow morning is set for around 20 minutes before 7. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Major Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. We now invite you to stay with us for a New Year address by Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, incoming chair of the Caribbean Community. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jasmine Thomas. God bless you.